And hello, everyone. Today we are here with the board of directors, some of the Golden State Roleplay staff. Um, I am Sunshine Studios. I'm a administrator and a public relations person, I guess. And today we are interviewing Golden State Roleplay's staff. So, Duke, um, you can unmute. I have some questions for you. Micah, if you could mute, please.
Dude, why is
Most time we
everybody
tell the
muted?
director to do something because he's starting his podcast.
Dude.
Doi.
Uh huh. Anyway, so Duke, um, why did you want to create a FiveM server or a FiveM community?
Well, essentially, when I first got into FiveM, it was right after I got out of boot camp. I essentially didn't want to start a FiveM community. I ended up joining this one server, and I just stopped not really wanting to be a part of it, and I ended up going with another buddy who started his own. And from there, a lot of changes got made to that said community. A lot of the members didn't agree with, and so I ended up leaving and starting one. So that way, these people didn't have somewhere. That way, these people could, start somewhere new, go somewhere where they wanted to be, stuff like that. So I kind of didn't really intentionally want to start the FiveM community. It kind of just happened based on how I felt the members were feeling or how I saw my members feeling at the time, because I was holding positions up there, and I couldn't at the end of the day leave a community and then leave them stranded because I could get into a better community or I could go to someplace else and they might not be able to. So
Mm-hmm.
I gave them a place to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the server that you created was originally known as Bay City Roleplay. Why did you change it from Bay City
Actually, no, it was
Roleplay?
not Bay City Roleplay. You joined when we were Bay City Roleplay. So originally, when I started my first FiveM server, it was called New San Andreas Republic Roleplay, or NSAR.
Mm-hmm.
It was co-founded by AZN, myself, and Oscar. Oscar was the original server payer, or he was the original person paying for the server, and then he decided to go kind of rogue on me and Aki. Well, Aki kind of went with him for a little bit, and then he came back, but um, they ended up stopping payments because they didn't like our staff layout, and they didn't want to come to me, talk to me about it, which is why a lot of my staff team nowadays actually do come to me about stuff, or they will call me out, which is why I'm happy to have the staff that I have because they also keep me in check. Um, but after NSAR, I ended up getting back with one of my older buddies who I was in the community, the one that made changes because we ended up fighting through it, and we're like, listen, man, no hard feelings, stuff like that. And he ended up coming over with my, I guess, ex buddy at this point. We're not on good terms, solely because he ended up trying to let my server die and just pull all our new people over to their server, um, which they denied. This whole investigation. But after that point, we decided to change the name up to Bay City. We were about Bay City for about a year, and obviously, like how FiveM works is there's always change. That's the best way I can explain it. You're always trying to change stuff to provide for your members. You're always trying to change stuff depending on the what's going on with the FiveM world, such as your vehicle liveries to EUPs to mods, stuff like that. So we ended up having a couple name changes after Bay City. We went from Bay City to, or actually, yeah, we went from Bay City, or we went from N-Star to Southern States, and then my buddy ended up splitting off from us again, going Star Zone again, which I didn't. I chose to stay behind, and then we swapped over to Bay City. Then we went over to New England. And New England was pretty successful, but um, the problem with the state that we were based off of was there was no mods for it, and at the time I didn't have really money to get custom mods where I could be spending, a couple hundred to thousands of dollars to get these custom mods in the server to make it more that style of the server. So we ended up deciding to go to um, California based and change the name to what's now GSRP. The reason why I chose GSRP was because back when I got into GTA roleplay, stuff like that, was in console days before I got a gaming PC. And my community on console, which was a pretty successful community at the time, up until the point I was enlisting, was called Golden State. So I ended up changing the name to that just to bring back kind of memories. And yeah, that's how we got to where we are today.
Okay. Thank you. And um, AznArcade. I have some questions regarding with Duke. Why did you choose to follow Duke in becoming friends with him and more being technically trusted with his server?
Let me ask, how long do you want that to be said? How far back do you want to go?
Uh, console days from to where we are now.
From the beginning?
Sure.
Or from the beginning, I started as found FiveM and got my PC, and it's all of course Jeff and all them, right? And I had my friend Miami, and he was already playing it, Skep, or also nickname known as Cancer, because his microphone is absolutely garbage. And then we found Sushi, and we started playing on the server, and then we stumbled upon Duke, and I've been friends with Duke since then. And that was what, I don't know. Remember when I started, I was like 14. I'm 18 now, so about 4 years of actually being there, trying to be helpful. I originally started out as just your regular civilian, and then I got moved into Boost TSO, and then their SAST head messed up, so I got moved there. I took over SAST, and then I took over an admin role. With that being said, I got to know Duke a bit more, and then we started over from everywhere. Like we started over a new server, all that, only because server owner got bored and decided to dip out. Then there's a lot of other stuff too. But other than that, I decided to stay with Duke after going through a lot of stuff. I mean, I've thrown away a lot of friendship and shit because this man has asked me to come through and do shit for him, and I was willing to learn, willing to teach, and all that. I mean, even if you ask him, he'll say it's about that part as well. Like, just I've been loyal to this community since I can think we started, which is long ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And being trusted with putting stuff into the server, which is now known as Golden State, Duke allows you to be putting stuff in with without even his permission. Like you can just put it in there and let him know. Be like, hey, I just put this in. You know, here's the spawn codes, stuff like that. Like, is that how close buddies you guys are?
Yeah. With that trust, that's come a long way. Asking yourself, it's been really broken and then rebuilt.
And Duke, you can unmute and clarify this for as well. And mistakenly, if I'm not wrong, you and AznArcade have been friends for what? Ever since console days?
No,
No,
I
no,
met
no.
Aki in my first server that I was a part of,
Okay.
and
What
that's
was
kind
it
of I
again?
met him. I met him through.
ATM,
No, it was MTG.
MTG. Yeah, MTG. There it
MTG.
is.
I think at the time I was in charge of state at the time, or one of the people running the State Department. And then Aki came with a couple of his other buddies, some which were on good terms with, and some it's kind of, obviously mixed. It's not
Complicated.
details to, yeah, it's not details for us to go into, but
Yeah.
we met there. And Aki was in my department for a little bit. I got moved up to staff, and at the time in that server, if you were staff, you had all department access, stuff like that. Um, excuse me. And I put in a recommendation for him to run the department, just because I could see how he worked and how he kind of operated. So
Mhm.
I had trust in him at that start, and it's hard it's hard to start trusting people, especially in this type, especially with all the ups and downs we've gone through the process of from NSTAR to here. We've had a lot of ups and downs, and Aki has never once have I had to question his loyalty, or never had to question if he's gonna abandon this place stuff, because at the end of the day, like, me and him have been the sole like founders, and then Brax came into the picture once we got out of Bay City. But Aki's kind of been with me since day one.
Okay.
Since day one, we've always kind of been on the same page. And it got to a point where when you work on server development, you as a director, it's hard to trust people to be like, hey, go ahead and add this, or because sometimes you can get corrupted resources. They could be putting in leaks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's at a point with him where he knows we operate on the same page, and that's one of the reasons why he's my deputy director, um, or my executive director, I should say. We changed up that role. So yeah, I've known each other. We've known each other since like our day one for me of FiveM,
Uh-huh.
which is 3 years ago. So yeah.
Okay. And you, Duke, allowing Azen to put stuff just like without permission, um, even though he will let you know. I'm guessing you and him have a group chat that's a BOD only.
Yep.
Yeah. Um,
Yes, sir.
That group chat's filled with messages on the daily.
yeah. Okay.
Every decision BOD decides to make, um, we all either will vote on it or we'll run it by the other BOD to see what their inputs are.
Mm-hmm.
And most of our decisions are all, it's not just one person deciding, or it's not me making an executive decision type deal. Um, on top of that, like, I know Aki and I have the same value to the community, and for us, it's just benefiting and improving the community. So if we see that our members are kind of like not happy with something, we're gonna figure out how to make them happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Happy by, if they need more civ vehicles, we'll try our best to find more civ vehicles, or they want new clothing, we'll do our best to try to find that stuff. Because obviously money doesn't grow on trees. Um,
Yeah.
so we have to make split decisions, kind of timely decisions based on what we can do to improve the server for now to help better it in the long run.
Okay.
So it's just with working with him for so long that it's easy to trust him on that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And Marcus, um, thank you for coming in as well. Um,
Mhm.
Marcus, you came to the server when it was called BCRP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a little backstory on how you and Duke known each other, and how you got to the role that you are now in current server today.
Well, I'm pretty sure I met Duke through a Roblox army group. I'm pretty sure. Duke can call me out if I'm wrong. He hired me in. He pulled
I
me.
met you through Matt.
Oh yeah, Matt Habit. Okay,
Okay.
Matt Habit. He led me to him, and Duke figured out I was into FiveM communities, so he dragged me under. Um, I joined BCSO. Short time after joining, became like I think it was like a sergeant, corporal, something like that. Joined staff team a little bit. Got into community enforcement, CE, if y'all remember that.
Yeah, I remember CE. It was originally named Community Enforcement Representative
Yeah.
at the time. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was a CE. I was just a regular CE, and I just so happened to be in a VC with the current deputy director and I believe another high staff in that VC. Witnessed them poaching, stuff like that. Opened a big CE case, bunch of this stuff, and I pretty much gained Duke's trust through that, finding
Mm-hmm.
finding stuff to actually bring them down.
Mm-hmm.
So I gained Duke's trust through that, and just a lot of loyalty, stuff like that, hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, loyalty. Loyalty played a big part in it. So that's what I
Yeah.
really got to say about that.
Okay. And to where you are now as a deputy director, what was originally Azen's role. However, you got that position and he got that role. How do you feel on having that role, even though you still work with the BOD and do everything that you can in your ability?
Well, I just think it's really cool that I'm actually back into BOD because I left a while ago for, I believe it was 5 months, I'm pretty sure. And
About yeah, four
yeah,
to 6 months.
4 to 6 months, and Duke gave me the sad news. He was like, hey, we ain't got no BOD spots. And I was like, man, well, shit, well, guess I can't do anything. And then I just started busting my ass about the roles and stuff, climbing up through staff, bunch of stuff like that. And I got into BOD again, I believe, as the, I don't think it was CM, I think it was like assistant director, something like that, assistant director.
Assistant deputy director, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It was some role, but we came to the decision to make another role, a part of BOD, executive director, as Aki is now, and I got his old position as deputy director, as I think I was in 4 to 6 months prior to rejoining. But yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And now we're gonna move on to the staff. So, Micah, you are the um, deputy director of administration. Um, you were recently promoted to that role because of things that have happened with a certain member. I'm not gonna name who, but with a certain member having so many complaints from staff, from members. How did you take that from where you were as a administration to, or to an admin, to now a DDOA of a FiveM community? And you can unmute, please, if you're there. Micah? Let's just give a... Just give a little ping here. Kilo. Micah, are you awake? I think we just had a person just fall asleep here.
You made him wait.
I made him wait too damn long. We're already 19 minutes in.
I think he fell asleep in his gaming chair.
Probably did.
All right. Well,
Well,
we'll work on getting him up if you want to go down to the
yeah, we'll just
to the next day.
yeah, we'll just go to the next person.
Well, was it, man? We had like a 7-hour patrol, all right?
I know, I was there. We had a 7 hour patrol, people. It was fun. To those who are tuning in from YouTube, once you do listen to this, I will have the service called Golden State Roleplay. If you guys like to come join, um, hit me up on Discord. My username is in my about area on YouTube. Feel free to send me a message and I could talk more about it. Anyway, let's stop talking about that there and let's go to who do I want to do here? We'll do snacks. Snacks.
Yo,
Well, we don't need a voice changer, sir.
Oh, my man.
yo,
All right, take the voice changer off, pal.
Okay.
Turn it off before
Alright,
taking
There
notes.
we go. There we go.
There it is. There we go. All right, snacks. Since
Bro.
you, okay, please turn off the voice changer. We don't need it.
okay, so not a voice changer.
Sure it is.
Okay.
Turn
okay,
it
I'm
off.
here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
For those who just unmuted, please mute again. Snacks. So I heard that you were recently promoted to assistant, or not assistant, but administration team manager of what I believe is moderation. Correct me if I'm wrong. But moderation.
I moved up to IA.
Okay, IA. So, so you're in moderation and IA. Tell me, because because I used to be there and there wasn't really a lot. But tell me, do you get any complaints or staff related stuff, like anything that's concerning you? Because I know when I was in ATM with IA and moderation, everything was pretty much just quiet, and from there.
The past few days, it's been a lot. But hopefully now it's gone back to normal. There's been a lot of stuff going on, like cases, tickets, and all that.
Mm-hmm. And when you handle with a staff a staff scene in Discord, do you just don't care about it, or do you just handle it on what you think would be your best ability to be? However,
I just handle it to the best of my ability.
okay,
If somebody else jumps in, then I'll let them take it from there.
okay,
So
okay, all right. And how did you first join Golden State Roleplay?
okay, so I met Hydro on Roblox. He invited me to the server. I got GTA on a day, and then he invited me to this. I was new to everything. I didn't know the map at all, and then he invited me, and then this is where I'm at now. I left before for some reasons. Then I joined back. So
Yeah, and what were the reasons why you left? Like, was there a person that made you pissed off? You just had to leave, or you just
It was-
left?
it was on my part and somebody else's fault too. So
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. Tater. You can unmute. Tater, you were recently also
Wait, do you want me
promoted.
to mute? You want me to mute?
Yes, please mute.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
My God.
Okay, we're only 24 minutes in, and we're also having some laughs. That's just great. But Tater, you were also recently promoted to administration team manager for moderation. I know, because you were also a part of this FiveM community, is right?
Yeah, I was in this FiveM community for, well, ever since Bay City had some problems and I had to leave.
Yeah.
Just recently came back.
And from the past when it was Bay City Roleplay to where it is now, would you think that from your staff position when it was called Bay City Roleplay, would you still want to get yourself to at least try to get yourself back to that spot if there was a spot open? Or would you just want to stay as the position you are now?
So I'm actually gonna go into more detail, like what you're talking about there.
Mhm.
So for y'all who do not know, before I even joined this server, I was in a server called LSDOJRP, not the one you're all thinking about. It's a different one that was in the other Discord. It was a weird thing. I was there for about like 2 years. I met a lot of people there, but I actually met what Aki also said. I met Susi, but I also met a guy named I would not say his name, but
Met you there.
yeah, I would not say his name. Um, a couple. The reason why I left that server, I went to a different one. So as Susi, we were basically he started RPing with me, like his first ever FiveM server with me. We kind of just met there. Um, Continuing on with that, uh, he was telling me about this new server he was in after there was a bunch of problems with the server that we used to call United, and so he gave me an invite link. So it did the other guy because he also mentioned he was in there, and then little did I know the server would be called Bay City Roleplay. That was about 2 to 3 years ago. During that time, that's I had to take an interview process. We don't do those anymore. That's where I met Duke. But at that time, Susi was the O1 of LSPD, if I'm not mistaken. And he was moving up to a BOD position. And during that time, he had to give recommendations for who to take over. And because of how long I was with Susi, we basically, with LEO work, we grew up kind of with each other. He recommended me and this guy. I don't know if we're on good terms with him. I'm gonna ask Duke that. Are we still good on terms with the other guy that I was the O2 of from 2020?
What?
Okay.
What other guy?
Oh,
Tater, you gotta
Explain.
realize we had a
Explain.
lot of
elaborate, please.
chiefs.
Okay, makes sense. So I was O2 with Panda, and
Oh, that's who you're talking about? You could have
yeah.
just said the dude named after a bear.
Oh, yeah, true.
We're kind of
So
to answer your question, Tater. We're kind of okay. We're kind of like he kind of just
yeah.
fell inactive and left. So
Okay.
yeah.
So at that time, I also got to go LOA, blah blah blah. There's a bunch of things that happened during that time. I took O1 as LSPD. Something didn't happen. I think we were reopening state at that time, so I took over as state chief, as O1 of state, which we made into CHP based. So we were California based. Um, had a bunch of friends there too. Met this guy named God's Weapons. He's not here anymore, um, sadly. And during that time, I think something happened. I don't know who it was, but we had this position called the community advisor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, community
CE.
advisor was a role that was BOD.
Yeah, so I was offered that position, and I gave O1 to Gods. And in the BOD, it was me and also Susi, if I remember correctly. Um, then another thing happened. Another thing happened. I became the CC, community coordinator, and that's where I kind of left off. We only had 4 positions at the time. So I'm not gonna get into details what happened, but basically something big happened. I left the server, and that was back in like 2021. So I was almost there for a year, BCRP,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when I left. And like I said, I recently joined back. It took me about 2 years, and I came back. Like
Mm-hmm.
back, goddamn. Um, so now, being surprised that I'm even a staff now from what happened 2 years ago, I'm just grateful that I'm here. So going back to that BOD position that you're talking about, going if it would ever open, um, if I ever got the opportunity, got asked, I would, but I don't see myself going back into that position right now.
Okay. And do you see yourself going like into that position in the future, or like,
That's what.
or do you see it like in 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, somewhere around there?
Well, I'm definitely not going to be playing 5M in 30 years, respectfully.
You're right. We're gonna be on 6M.
6M
I
instead of
think it's-
5M. Yep.
Yeah. I think I would definitely take the opportunity if it was offered to me. But like
Okay.
I said,
Okay.
I don't see that coming anytime soon.
Okay.
Waking up.
All right. Thank you for your explaining there and time. Last but not least, but as we tried to get, and Terry, you can also mute as well. Kilo, also known as Mikah. Mikah, you can unmute, please.
Somebody start praying. Like,
Okay, enough. Enough, please. We're only 31. Jesus Christ. Okay.
You need to go more in depth with like how
to get
long
him to
I've
wake
done
up.
Dig. Not really, no. I'll be getting to quite some questions here right now. But Micah, if you're awake, please undo mute.
Unmute before I come into your house and steal your balls.
Whoa.
Hey, yo.
Okay,
Oh, hi, Micah.
Micah, are
Hi,
you
Micah. How you
awake?
doing?
Micah, are you there?
Oh my god.
Bro, he's listening to country music right now.
Okay, stop
Ask
the
me a
music
question.
then.
Bro, Joey's having the time of his life. This is the only time he gets the boss around the higher.
I know.
I've been muted. I've muted. My bad.
Okay, there we go.
My bad.
There's
Because
I have to
okay,
mute soundboards.
Hey, Micah, can you do me a favor? Can you say baby lock them doors and turn the lights down?
You sound so fucking stoned right now.
Just work a little bit.
okay, turn off the voice changer. Because you don't.
Voice changer, I swear to God it is.
Yes, it is. Turn it off.
Oh, that's not a voice changer. It's not a voice changer.
Is that just
Listen,
okay?
listen to how Jackson.
Okay. Talk.
Okay, thank you.
I'm talking.
Jesus. Okay, Micah. You were recently promoted to director, not the English, deputy director of administration. Because of what happened with a certain member. Because that member had received so many complaints and everything, and you just as a administrator, how did you go from administrator to DDA of this FiveM community?
Well, honestly, I don't really know where to start. I kind of joined. I didn't even really join that long ago. I've been here a few times. I think maybe 3 times, but I wasn't really super active in the past. And then after I rejoined for my 3rd time, I got like more active and I did more things in the community. And I tried to show that I was like, I don't know, worthy of having the role of administrator. And then once all this stuff started happening, I just started like helping like all of the reports and shit on it.
Yeah.
I would be like, I would be the one that always clipped everything.
Okay.
And I don't know, I just tried to benefit the community as much as I could. I haven't really been here for too long, and I just got the role, so I can't really say very much on anything really, because I haven't been here as long as many of the other people have. So.
Okay. And
just activity and dedication gets you places.
yeah, and it goes a long way, right?
Right, it does go a very long way.
Yeah.
As you can see in my case, I
in what, like, past 2 days, like, it now just felt that, like, yesterday you were just an administrator, and then the next day after you just went from passing ATM to just DDoA. And seeing that, or technically knowing that you left before, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but you left because of something that happened IRL, and you then joined back, right? Because of
Yeah, I
terms
left because
with.
of issues and leaving on bad terms with some of the commands. Then Aki invited me back after I think it was a few weeks. He wouldn't get off my back about me coming back.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Okay. So now I'm gonna ask everybody here. As a
No.
okay. Okay. Turn off the voice changer. We don't need it. To everyone here, because we are only 36 minutes in.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Indeed, we are. So to pretty much everyone here, as what do you see Golden State Roleplay as? And we're gonna start with from BOD down. So the BOD people can speak first, and then DDoA, and then ATMs. So Marcus, Duke, and Aki, what do you guys? As my screen just went completely back for a moment. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Duke, Aki, and Marcus. How well of, well, technically not how well, but as seeing the server, do you guys consider it as family? Like, do you guys see like people like as a like when they first join, you guys treat them as your own brother or sister?
I mean,
Certain people.
certain
sure.
people. It honestly, it depends on, how they are, how they act, if they, follow the little like. We try to keep our rules straight to the point, kind of not out outrageous amount of rules, but like kind of like common sense based. So it kind of depends on how they are. If they just come in here, and all they want to do is just cause trouble, disrespect people, stuff like that, then obviously no, we're not going to want to really take you under our wing. We'll try to help fix that mentality. But like if we see that it's not working and we've just been trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and nothing's ever happening, then obviously it's just at that point it's kind of what we call a lost cause. That's happened maybe once or twice, but majority of the time when Aki and I have kind of always done this is, we wanna see our members grow. We wanna help instill values into them, stuff like that. And that's kind of why our rules are very common sense based, because it's kind of like stuff you see every day. If you want people to respect you, you got to give them respect for them to respect you, vice versa, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's kind of like a family. We kind of call it a family in a way. Um, because we do care about all our members. If our members are going through a hard time, we'll be there to sit and talk to them. Bucky and I have had to sit on the phone with a couple members for hours on end.
I'll say this now as a quote of the way I look at server, right? I want to see you eat, not at my table. That's the way I can put it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
What else do you want?
What is that?
Please repeat.
And Aki, can you just elaborate that quote there?
What? The quote of what? Saying, I want to see you eat, but not at my table?
Yeah.
There's people I want to see grow and continue on, but there's also those people who I want to see them grow and continue on, but I don't want to be part of their I don't want to be part of their. I don't know how to put it.
Everyday
You
life.
don't want to be part of
Their
it. Yeah, you
everyday
don't.
life,
You don't
everything
want
of
to
it.
babysit.
Yeah.
Same deal.
Yeah,
You
and
want to be
and
their babysitter.
yeah, and Marcus, you can jump on in this as well. Like, how do you see the server as you see it as family, right?
Um, I'm sticking to what Duke and them are saying. Like, there's certain people I can consider like a brotherhood or like a sisterhood and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I feel like I've grown a bond with almost everyone in the server.
Oh, and somebody's turning on their camera. That is Snacks right there, trying to get me demonetized with not a
Shameless
sponsor.
plug. Sh-
Yeah,
Shameless
trying to
plug.
get me not. Bro, technically,
Are we doing shameless
You
plugs?
know,
You can
what
do
you
a
need to
shameless
do
plug.
now.
I
You know,
need.
you need to do
I
now, Joe. You need to tell them that you're not affiliated with that,
yeah, I
and that
know.
you weren't paid to do this, and you weren't paid to do this.
I, to be honest, whatever Snack showed you there, I am not affiliated with it, nor am I sponsored with it. I'm telling you this. I'm not paid or partnershiped with that brand. I'm telling you that. I'm not. Okay? I'm not.
One job tax. Um,
Snacks, you had one job. Just stop.
yeah. The BOD, honestly, like bond wise, family wise, honestly, the BOD is kind of like we have that bond. A lot of stuff like we don't disagree on. We will disagree on like something every now and then, but it's not like something bad. It's just like, hey, are we gonna put in this file? Thoughts? No, let's not do it right now. And it's like we'll have a little back and forth, but ultimately our bond is really well to where we kind of think all the same. And it's really great to actually have a BOD like that. When I had a BOD before this current one, who, as Brack said, the day he became BOD was when my other BOD was trying to downfall the server. And he did his job and investigated it, got rid of him, and that's what honestly gave him my trust. Because I know no matter what, he's gonna do the right thing. He's gonna be there for the server. He's putting the server first. So yeah, it all depends on the person, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest.
Okay. And so the DVOA. How do you do you go on what Duke and Aki and Marcus said? Like, do you agree with them? Like, you see that, like, you see it as that, or do you see the staff as like a family that you would treat as your own? Considering that you,
Like based off of what they said, or
yeah, like, do you agree with them, or do you see on like on your end, like you see the staff as family and the server as family because of how well we just get to know each other?
I mean, I would say that I see the staff team as a family. I mean, everybody in the staff team pretty much likes each other, and whoever anybody dislikes, usually everybody dislikes that person that's in the staff team as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a shared relation, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times, it's pretty fun being in the staff team. I would say
Mm-hmm.
everybody's super nice and welcoming, and if you ever need help, you can always ask higher ups, and they're always helping.
Okay. And the ATMs, you guys can unmute as well. As I said the question before, do you guys see the staff team and or the members as family? Like, you guys treat them as one of your own brother or sisters, or
Yeah,
do
if
you
they
guys
respect me, I
agree with?
respect them. So,
Yeah, or do you just agree with like Duke, like pretty much on
yeah,
what he said?
yeah.
Yeah.
Great, some of the vocabulary, yeah. But even with
How?
this FiveM server, even with the FiveM server, some of the staff members we actually play Rainbow. So we play different variety of games. So how much we actually like having each other around, and we honestly have a lot of fun with each other. Honestly, I got back into Rainbow because of some people in here, namely Marcus and Snack.
Okay. And since we are 44 minutes in, and I'm trying to probably hit this around to an hour or so. Um, since okay, and this is a community wide question. Uh, in in time when there's no patrol, or there is, um, how do I say this? A patrol that is not really called a patrol, but it's also called as a code zero patrol. Do you guys just do you guys take patrol differently as what a official patrol is, like an unofficial patrol, with
So what's the difference
minimize
between an unofficial and official?
pretty much, but do you guys just minimize like the rules, and like you guys have to do passive or something like that?
Personally, me as a really laid back BOD member, during unofficials, I don't care what goes as long as everyone's having fun. But official patrols, straight up, they just gotta stick to the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when there's not a boosted patrol going on, usually everybody's either messing around with stuff that's getting added and devved, or stuff that's like, I don't know, like today we had some people on earlier when our head dev was posting updates.
Mm-hmm.
After she had sent the updates out, there was people in game testing the updates, making sure nothing was breaking. So
Yeah. Okay. And Duke, I know since which I'm probably guessing that you're also part of the dev team, right? Since you're the person who created this FiveM server. What are the new vehicles that were added for Civ or Leo or any department really?
So our vehicles are kind of based off of people, certain people. So Aki kind of runs with the civilian vehicles as well as Kayla, who is our community manager. She's asleep right now, so that's why she's not here. But with our new server coming out, which honestly this is pretty much a V2, GSRP V2 kind of in a way because of the old server. Um, we ended up getting more storage and a lot better RAM. Servers on a way better VPS, I should say. It's a lot faster. Anti-DDoS, all that types of stuff, all the good stuff. It does cost an arm and a leg, but it's better to have for our members, especially those with lower end computers. But concerning the new vehicles, with the new servers being bought, us going to the QB core, we wanted to give you guys more stuff. With our old server, just storage and cache kind of limited what we could do and what we could insert. But with this server, I know when we had our first patrol, not many civs knew this, and I actually had some people come to my DMs being like, "Hey, listen, we need this stuff," and I sat down with them to show them like we inserted that stuff. There's more civ vehicles. As of right now, Aki I think has the total number of civilian vehicles that we have in currently, because like I said, he's the one who handles most of the civ cars that get put in, as well as Kayla. But concerning LEO, that's kind of my trade or my contribution towards vehicles for the server, as I make a lot of our liveries. Um, and so we ended up with this new server update. We ended up rolling out a new fleet of LSPD vehicles. They're based off of, for our city vehicles, they're based off of Castleberry, Florida, Castleberry Police Department in Florida. For Snore Valley, it's based off of Warwick Police Department, and the prior chief at the time, I was really happy when he liked them, as I talked with him to see what he would want personally, because I like to have that communication with my chiefs or my department heads. Is, I want them to have liveries that they like. Um, so the prior chief, before Tater over here took over, um, he really liked the design of the liveries, because the Warwick PD features a thin blue line within livery, and then Castleberry PD just the new liveries really kind of like it's a nice city style car. And it meant a lot because those were two places I grew up in, so it's like a little bit of home for me in the server. Um, but ultimately, we pretty much overhauled the new development or new LSPD cars. We got rid of the old pack, insert this new pack, the vehicles. are a lot nicer. They handle a lot better. Ultimately, it's just we add and take out. It's all based on what our members want. If our members need more safeguards, we'll try to accommodate to the best of our abilities. If they need more new LEO vehicles, new liveries, we'll accommodate. It just depends on what else we have going on vehicle or for dev wise, and like on our timeline, which we just released our timeline or our development planner. For our community to see. So now they can actually see what we're working on instead of in the past where they were like, well, they don't. It doesn't ever look like they're doing anything because they're not updating it, but we're always updating stuff. It's now where you can view it, you can see what we're working on, what we're planning on adding in, other suggestions from people, that type of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
vehicle wise, everyone in the dev team has a specific role concerning vehicles, and they're the ones who will handle it.
Yeah. And so most people are leaving now because they're just leaving now because of they're tired and stuff like that. But I guess this is now just a 3 podcast right now.
I mean, I got time. I'll sit here and talk. Um, Honestly, like I'm looking at this as a, kind of outreach to the community. Um,
Yeah. Kind of like
and I appreciate Tater. I appreciate Tater staying too. Tater, thank you for staying.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
my bad.
No, you're good. So I guess I was gonna ask people questions, just um like now I'm gonna get another topic of community events. When there is a community event like Remembrance Day or 9/11 or um, any fun things, do you guys do random stuff depending
so
on how you guys
yes,
know?
yes, and Tater's been there for a couple of them. But yes, anytime we have like major holidays, so like or like kind of like remembrance days, I should say. Not holidays are non-mandatory patrols. We will still always host an official patrol. An official patrol will always be hosted every day. If you don't, except for Christmas, obviously. We Christmas, Thanksgiving, and kind of Easter. We will. It depends. Like where I grew up, my family on Christmas Day, we would go do stuff during the day, be back by night. So we would host, we'd host an official patrol, not mandatory. And at that point, it's up to them if they want to come. It's not going to count against them. It's not going to make them look bad. It's not going to count towards an activity because it's a day for you to be going and doing stuff. Same with Christmas Eve, stuff like that. So, but on Remembrance Days such as Memorial Day, 9/11, uh, 4th of July, stuff like that, we do try to do server events. Last 9/11, we ended up doing a hour-long ceremony before our patrol started, and we actually did have a really big server turnout for that day. To where we ended up. This was the first time we actually did a actual scripted 9/11 memorial. To where we actually read the timeline of the events. After that, I mean, our law enforcement had a firing squad, and we did a 7-gun salute, stuff like that. But we do try to do that stuff to kind of keep it interesting. We also do random ceremonies or events too throughout the departments, such as an award ceremony or promotion ceremony. One of the things I did bring up with the BOD, and they're on board with they seem to be on board with this, is anytime we enact a new high com of a department, as the high coms go through BOD selection, we will start having swear-in ceremonies where they will officially be sworn into the position. So I think personally, we do a decent amount of events. There have been times where we decided, we're going to do kind of a martial law event. We did that a couple times, and that was a fun kind of event where we had, special forces or, National Guard deployed, and, we're tracking down a group of people, stuff like that. So, we do community events. It's not as frequent as they should be, I should say, but majority of the holidays there will be a event.
Okay. And what I also recently, well, not recently, but I heard of is some communities do different community events. Like they do a Fortnite, FiveM. Um,
So you're talking about like game nights?
yeah, pretty much like game nights.
Honestly, we don't really need to host those because as before, the others got off, they said that like, a lot of the staff team play games together. Tater and I have played games together. Snacks and I play squad are starting to play squad or VTOL VR together. Brax and I would play. We always are playing games with each other, and it's not just staff members. It's not just open to staff members. I play games on a daily with my members because to me, I want my members to know me, not be afraid to come and tell me stuff. And hence why one of the reasons Micah is on my staff team is because he has kept me in check before. There have been times where I become a subliminal to something or I'm not thinking the best logical outcome, and he will put me in check. Same with Tater, same with Aki, Brax. We all keep each other in check. And that's one of the things I want my members to know too is that, listen, I'm just like you. I want to go relax, play games too. You guys can come and join me. I like to get to know my members because, like I said, I treat it as I look at my community as not just a community where some communities are looking to gain just members. I'm looking to create a place for people to come and de-stress. Create a place for people to come meet and make new friends, as a lot of my members have done. Um, or just a place that they can feel welcome because obviously the society that we live in nowadays um, isn't the best.
no, and stuff
It's
turns
not the best at
downhill,
all.
right?
So having a community where it makes everyone feel welcome, or that you just have that one person who has your back regardless, it that's the goal of the community. The goal, we want to rise in numbers, we want to expand our growth, but it's not because I want to be one of the top FiveM servers. It's not because I want to, you know, I want to be as big as OCRP one day. No, that's not the mission of the community. The mission of the community is, as I said, create a place for all to come and enjoy. Um, we we Tater actually helped develop this system back when he was BOD prior. With me, Aki, and we decided, because Tater was one of my original BODs at first, um, that we don't just kick and ban. I see a lot of servers that will just kick and ban people for little stuff. Um, we have a whole department dedicated to just investigating kicking and bans. In order to be kicked and banned from the community, you have to go through what we call an internal affairs investigation, where internal affairs deems that, yeah, you broke these major rules. Um, Looking at your prior track record, this is not a recent occurrence. This is not like the first occurrence or anything like that. This is a nonstop occurrence, so you are getting banned or you're getting kicked, etc. And the impact that it had on the community is it makes our members feel like that people aren't out to get them. It
Mm-hmm.
makes them feel like that if they mess up, it's okay to mess up because that in reality, in real life, especially wherever you go, you're gonna mess up. But the only way to learn is from your mistakes. So we focus more on giving our members a second chance, or not just going straight to being like, hey, get out. We're not welcome anymore. Um, Obviously, there are going to be tensions, obviously that, but our goal is to squash those tensions and bring our community up to a functioning capability where everyone will still attend, everyone will be okay around each other, stuff like that. And we tell them like, listen, if you have stuff going on with them and you just don't want to talk to them, you don't have to, but don't let it affect patrols because it could ruin someone else's night or it could ruin someone else's experience. It's 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 honestly, we just strive to make everyone feel welcome, feel like they have people who watch their back. I know a lot of members I talk to, or even have hung out with, and played some games with. They are really appreciative on how we operate and how we're there no matter what. Um, I mean, you were one of them too, Jelly. You've come to me too, and I tell my members the same thing. My door's always open. I have an open door policy. You don't need to be scared to come talk to me. If there's something going on and you just don't know who to talk to, I'm more than welcome to come and sit and listen. So, yeah, that's kind of like our focus.
Mhm.
I don't know if Tater has anything. He's been here quite a while too. I know he just got back, but he knows how I operate. He knows how I operate the community. So, Tater, if you have anything that you want to say,
Yeah,
please.
Tater, please do say something, anything.
Yeah, this after being here for a while, I have seen the server grow majorly from when I first started to the 2 year break and then coming back. Big whole server change, whole new ideas, which I had never seen before. It's very different from any other server that I have seen, and honestly, it's kind of better than any other server that I ever seen. And yes, we kind of started with some of the stuff that has been in use now, but it wasn't before. I didn't expect it to go this high in this and go this well. And as we could tell, it has went well, and there's always reasoning behind everything. It's a real like privilege to see all this go down, or even just even a FiveM community or just a server. It's run more, how do I say, professionally than most businesses IRL that I've ever seen.
Hmm. And regarding with the servers and stuff like that, because when you join a server, you don't feel like you're sometimes welcome, right? Like you don't know like what's going on. Like when I first joined, I didn't have I didn't have I didn't have FiveM until I met a friend who actually gifted me GTA and I would be able to play. And but when I first joined, it was originally called BCRP, and I joined as a dispatcher because Duke, or because I I known Duke from ERLC days. He because and Duke, correct me if I'm wrong, but before I joined GCR the English GSRP, when it was formerly known as BCRP, I met you through an ERLC community that was still going, right?
That was that was that was years ago, Jelly.
Yeah, it was
Um,
years ago.
hence why I still call you Jelly. It's the name that I've known you by for years. Um, yeah, you've been around my dynamic and how I've run stuff. Like I said, running a FiveM was not my not my goal. It was something that I never thought I would be doing. When I got into the FiveM world, I was like I ran a console community. I don't want to run a community. My goal is to just kind of go through a couple communities, get up into the big leagues like OCRP stuff like that. But when you get into FiveM and and you start running a server, it kind of hits you like a freight train. Like you don't expect it coming, or I should say like a deer in the headlights, right? You kind of just freeze. That's kind of what happened to me, like where I officially kind of took over payments for servers and actually running it myself um, after Oscar dipped. And Oscar and I are cool now. It's we've one thing I learned in this is to not hold grudges, and I held a grudge with Oscar for over a year. Refused to talk to him, refused to, we were friends, and it's just because he stranded my members. Because in reality, he was kind of the owner at that. He was kind of the owner. He was the one paying for the server. He just put me in the director position because I had more experience than he did. But um, yeah, like I said, I never expected to run a server like this. Um, to run a FiveM server. I never really wanted to run a FiveM server, but it was the fact that my members had nowhere to go. That's what made me say, all right, you know what? I'm gonna scrap some money together. I'm gonna get a server, and I'm gonna grow this. Um, but yeah, like I said, you've known me for years. You know my dynamic. You know how I operate.
Mm-hmm.
It's I rather have a system where my members feel welcomed. They know that no one's out to get them. And honestly, the other thing that we do is like if you're staff and you're involved in a situation where there's reports, you're a witness, etc. We don't allow you to be on that case. We don't allow you to investigate it. You sit on the sideline, someone else will investigate it, and because we don't want biased judgment. We don't believe in that. Because obviously, like if you look at it like this, where say Tater didn't like you, Jelly, and you did something, and he was there and watched what happened, and it wasn't really as bad, but he made it seem bad, and then he's the one investigating it, and then you get banned for something you actually didn't do. It looks bad. So we uh we ultimately that's our goal. That's our dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as Tater said, like it's a very more professional outlook on how it's run. It's kind of treated like a business.
Yeah.
Except it's not a business. We don't look at it as a business. That's just kind of it was the best system. It was the best system that we felt worked, and it's been working for 3 years. And we've had our ups and downs. Tater has seen the ups and downs. Aki's seen the ups and downs. Yeah. That's really all I got. I know it's a ramble, but you know, the whole point of this is to let people get inside our heads. So
Mm-hmm.
um yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much that. And now we're just an hour and 6 minutes into this, and we're only down to 3 people here. Oh,
Like I said, I'm 13 hours ahead. It is the afternoon for me, so
yeah, and it is currently almost close to midnight. It is only 11:57 here. I don't know what time it is for Tater right now, but apparently he just
For
stuck.
me,
think Tater's Eastern or UCST.
I am Eastern, and it's almost 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning.
It
So
is about to be 3 a.m. for Tater.
okay, so yeah, so it's currently 2:58 for him right now in the morning, for Eastern people. For Pacific Standard people, it is currently 11:58 for me or for us, and Duke in Japan, it is 13 hours ahead, and he's now in the afternoon. So
It is about to be 4 p.m. for me.
yeah,
So
bro is literally in the future.
yeah, it's great.
Um,
Nothing bad happened so far.
yeah. I guess another category I can get into is well, I'll probably leave this to another podcast, but I'll probably be doing a department head podcast. So that would be bringing in the LSPD chief, that which we currently have, um, the board of commissions, the O1 of sheriff, the O1 of state. If
State
we
right now, state's still being worked on.
yeah, state's still being worked on, which is currently BOD or board of
For
board of
those
commissions.
watching,
So
if you see state police in Jelly's videos as he does stream the server,
record actually.
that's us. That's the BOC right now. Because what we're trying to do is the fact that we have to restart how the state departments run. We're gonna get it set up for when the next department head who takes over that department is pretty much set up, ready to go, and it's gonna be an easy transition for them.
Yeah.
So, Jelly, I know you're asking questions, but there is a topic I do want to talk about.
Please do. Please do.
And one of the things you didn't bring up is how our departments are run. I know that you're gonna have a department head meeting and stuff like that where you kind of like talk to the department heads, but like this is kind of like more server side development or trial and error. And I know when Tater was here, Tater, correct me if I'm wrong, you just took over as chief again. And I'm guessing it is completely different from how it was in the past.
Yeah, and even my mentality changed because when I started RP, I was like 12, not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
And I started role playing here at like 13 or 14. so I didn't know what leadership was. Now that I'm turning like 16 in less than a month, uh, from leadership examples because of what I take in my high school, I'm not going to explain it. Um,
Yeah, we don't need
I
to know
realized,
IRL stuff right now, but
yes, um, I realized the whole chain of command. Like I now see these things that I can work on, and going up the chain of command and using that for advantages, even though that's been going on for a while now that I didn't realize. But departments are definitely run different because I'm not gonna get into full detail. There's like we have a whole drive for each department, and in that drive is all information about the department. Hell, we're even making a website. What? That's something that you really need to dig into. What other community really has websites for each department?
mm-hmm.
And for
Currently,
those watching, and you own a fucking server, sorry for swearing on your stream, but we have the credit. we take that credit. We're the ones who started doing this because I know there's gonna be that one server owner who watches this and be like, "Damn, that's a good idea. Let's do that." Um, we're
Please
not
do
getting
our.
into detail on what goes on those server, what's going on those websites, but um, sorry to cut you off, Tater, but yeah, the flow of the departments now was a major trial and error. Back when Tater was first here and he was the chief, I mean Tater, it was kind of like no one really had a specific role other than the chief and the assistant chief and the deputy chief. Those are like the only like actual like this is what you do type deal. Um, and I think it was you and a couple other people kind of brought it up like there's no way for us to keep people accountable. So what the BOC decided, and this was before Tater came, is we wanted to change the way how our departments operate. So instead of giving it to where our departments do like your recruit training or your entry level training, we have something called the San Andreas Law Enforcement Association, where it is a kind of own department in a way, and its sole purpose is for educational purposes. It trains the recruits for training. It gets you SWAT qualified, K9s qualified, Air Ones qualified, field training officer qualified. And one of the things that we focused on was making our departments realistic. Um, we ended up deciding to make it where when you graduate the SALA, you can apply to a department, but you have to go through an actual probationary phase. It's not where you're like out there driving around and people are watching you and seeing how you do. It's a literal FTO phase. You're going to be assigned an FTO, and the FTO is going to take you on a 7 patrol journey, 6 7 patrol journey where day 1 through 3 he's going to be kind of there explaining the ropes to you, teaching you about department history, teaching you how the department's SOP is, stuff like that. Day 4 is okay, now he's going to be kind of looking at you more of in a partnership way where you're going to kind of be telling him, but he's going to be there to help you regardless. Day 5 is going to be a plain clothes day, meaning your FTO is not, he's going to be there, but he's not going to assist you. You're on your own. You're going to be patrolling. He's just kind of in the car with you. And he's only allowed to intervene depending on if it's a life-threatening situation for your character. And then day 7 is your final ride along, and you or patrol that last patrol is like your final ride along. You're pretty much partners at that point. You're going to work together, and then after that you graduate and you're now an officer or a deputy or a trooper, and you're on your own. We changed the way subdivisions were. A lot of back then we used to have it where our subdivisions were rank locked, where you had to be a sergeant to join SWAT, you had to be this to do that. We ended up making it where it doesn't matter your rank. You be an officer and join SWAT. You can be this. What matters is that we assigned ranks per roles. So LSPD, for example, I helped the old chief with this. We decided to add in officer first class and corporal. Officer first class is just kind of like hey, you've been here for a decent amount of time. We're gonna move you up. Corporal is now you're getting into junior supervising, where you're getting into being a supervisor for your said subdivision. Um, so you're going to be assigned to a sergeant, and they're going to kind of show you how our supervising works, because our supervising is not just like, oh, you're a sergeant, you have say over everyone. We actually have briefings where we designate who's the supervisor for the department for that night, etc. Um, um, Another thing that we did was certain positions you do have to take an exam for. Um, we wanted to base it off of real life. In every department, depending on what rank you're going up to or set category, you have to take an exam, and it's usually captain, lieutenant, and sergeant. So for LSPD, when they're corporal and they're trying to go up to sergeant, they'll take an exam. If they pass their exam, then they are eligible to be promoted to sergeant, as per the chief. Um, and same with lieutenant, same with captain. Once you hit department high com, that's when you got to go to a BOC interview, and the BOC is going to interview you, and then they're going to say, hey, we recommend that we recommend that he's a good candidate for this position. Hey, these are your good candidates. Here's your bad candidates. These are the people we're recommending you choose from. You don't have to necessarily do that, but they all did well on their interview type deal. So ultimately, like we ended up sitting down and really changing the way the departments operate. Um, where specific ranks have specific roles. Lieutenants run subdivisions, captains are in charge of stations, all that type of stuff. And a lot of our members, like prior members who have left and come back, who were too scared to tell us about that stuff, like including Tater, have really liked this idea because it shows that we're not trying to put people in positions who shouldn't be in the position. Because Tater knows we've had people in high ranking positions who were overall crappy at the job. They didn't know what they were doing. They still acted as if they were probationary officers, stuff like that. So we pretty much completely got rid of the risk of that. Um, and yeah, as you said, like we're trying to change the way FiveM is in a way, because we wanna make our community as realistic as it can be, with SOPs to a department having its own website, award ceremonies, awards given to players where our members where they can be awarded the good conduct medal, all that type of stuff. And I mean, the plans that we have for the server, it's crazy. We're planning on even having a full-fledged government where our members could run for governor and mayor positions of the state. So
If I can quickly add, for people who do not know, Duke is currently serving in the U.S. Navy, and when he says good conduct medals, that's kind of a Navy thing, almost.
it's an all-branch thing.
Yeah, oh, actually, we Air Force I think use good conduct ribbons.
Yeah, I mean it's really a ribbon. That's what we have to. But yeah, ultimately, like the development that we have planned for, it's gonna be insane where we end up in the next year, because day by day I see that my members are recruiting or trying to bring over their friends, be like, hey, come join the server type deal. And every day it's just we're getting bigger, and it's expanding people's friendships, it's expanding it to a point where everyone's staying on because they're having fun type deal. So yeah, and I guarantee you when QB Core comes out, when our QB Core server, because we're scouting mods, we're trying to get the best mods that we could get for this. And like I said, a lot of our mods are all suggested by our members, minus like some that we're looking for. But yeah, it's gonna be a way better experience for our members, and that's ultimately what matters to us. So we take our development very seriously. And we take the way how our stuff's ran. A lot of people wanted it to be more realistic, and we ended up hitting that. We hit that milestone with them. So we haven't gotten any back points yet. So we're gonna keep pushing that forward.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Nice.
there's a shameless. There's another shameless plug right there, Jelly, for GSRP.
Yeah, that actually I never thought of asking that question, but thank you for realizing that because that did not pop into my head not until you mentioned it. I was like, oh, right. But yeah, we are an hour and 19 minutes in. Uh, we
Yeah, it's all been you speaking like Eminem and Rap God.
yeah,
I'm from New England. What do you expect? I talk fast.
yeah.
Yes, Jersey too. I'm just talking slow because I'm kind of tired, but
Yeah, I think everybody's tired here, but I think I'm just gonna wrap it up
Man,
here.
I've been up all-
To continue, Duke.
I said I've been up all night. I got up yesterday at 5 a.m., which was 5 p.m., which is 4 p.m. Eastern, and I have not gone to sleep yet.
No, apparently not. Um,
Well, like I said, I get 1 day to actually come and spend time with the community. So, I gotta sacrifice something, you know, and sometimes you gotta sacrifice sleep. End of the day, the second I get off, I'm going straight to bed. Catch up on that sleep. But you know, that's the point that like we care about our community a lot. Um, I've seen a lot of BOD stay up late. I've seen you know even on school nights, they would be up till like 1 in the morning, still on patrol because the patrol's going for so long. There have been times where we've started at 7 p.m. and have gone till like noon the next day with same amount of people. Just it was it and that's where everyone kind of forced to like sacrifice the sleep. But at the end of the day, they're having fun. They're not. It's not a school night or they don't have to go to work. Our community is very diverse. It's a very diverse community. That's the best explanation I can give you. It's people will forfeit their sleep to come be a part of this. So it's great that they do that. And obviously, like if they come in, they're like, "Oh, I'm way too tired." We're not like, "Oh, stay on, stay on." We'll tell them to get off.
yeah,
And
and
a
it
lot of times
and
they'll choose to stay.
yeah, and like, and if they want to stay, like they can stay, right?
Yep.
Because
We
it,
we we tell them like, listen, if you haven't gotten sleep, we suggest you go get some sleep. Um, it's okay if you don't come, stuff like that. Like we tell them, go get some sleep. Please go get some sleep. And a lot of times, some of them will be like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna show up. I said I was gonna show up today. I'm gonna show up today." And it's great. If they do it multiple days in a row where they're not getting sleep, then we tell them, "No, you're not getting on today. You're you're gonna go. You need to go to sleep." So yeah, it's great to see that our members care that much, but also we still look out for them. We're gonna tell them, don't do that. I get you want to come today, but you haven't slept in a couple in a day or two. Like you need to really go lay down and go to sleep.
mm-hmm.
So
and I wanted to add, I'm currently doing that right now.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and
even me. And
I think,
honestly, I'm probably gonna get off and go play with some friends right after this, and so
and
um,
yeah, it's currently like midnight 13 right now for me, but I'm not even tired, and it's today now Sunday, and I have work tomorrow at like 6 a.m. in the morning.
Monday.
Noob, I'm off
Yeah.
Sunday. I'm off to, well, technically today.
Yeah, but I have
Oh,
work
great,
tomorrow,
nice. You have
so
Sundays off too. Except it's Monday for me, or no, it is Sunday for me. Is it?
Technic,
Hang on.
yeah, it is, because 13
Yeah,
hours
it is
ahead.
Sunday. So I
yeah,
lose track of dates and days because I work. So,
I'm
or I
also
work
off.
almost every day. So,
I'm also
yeah,
off Monday too, so I'm off Sunday, Monday.
oh, you lucky.
lucky
Well,
bastard.
the good
I'm
news is
I'm working tomorrow.
I have 4 days off between I have August 4th through 7th off where I'm not going to
Yo,
work.
really? Really?
Mhm.
That's in between my birthday.
Oh, cool. I'll be on for your birthday, so I'll make sure I come sing you happy birthday.
Oh God, why did I
Oh
miss
hell
that?
yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna wrap this up now. Thank you to um, the board of directors, the administration team managers, the deputy director of administration, everybody here. Um, Duke, do you have anything to say before I end things off?
I always have something to say, Jelly. You know me.
uh,
um, for those watching, if you're interested in FiveM or you have FiveM, our dual planning policy is very, very mild. You can still be in another community. It kind of only matters when you're staff, and it's solely because I don't want my staff team to be, a higher rank or equivalent rank in staff in another server because I don't want them to be too overloaded with work. So usually I'll let them pick between what staff they want to be a part of. But ultimately, come check us out. Come give us a chance. It's gonna seem weird. It may be weird at first or awkward at first because you're new or anything like that. But this community is a very welcoming community. They are the people in here, honestly. Um, yeah, they're what makes my community a great community. It's honestly all them. I just happen to fit into the picture because I do stuff right. I look out for them. But yeah, seriously, come check us out. If you don't have FiveM, that's okay. We have dispatchers open. You can come and dispatch for us. We do daily patrols, um, every day, 365 days a week, other than non-mandatory ones, which even still staff gets on for, um, even when I tell them not to. But end of the day, come check us out. Come give us a shot. It's definitely going to be an experience that might change your look on some communities, or may change your look on that other communities do operate differently, or there is a community that does care about there. Because I've seen it all. I've seen where there people have been in communities where they don't care about their members, or they don't. Well, they care, but they don't type deal. Tater came from one like that. So even he's experienced it. So yeah, honestly, just come check us out. Um, Jelly will probably drop the link, our dedicated custom uh, custom invite link that we finally achieved
Indeed,
because
we have.
people server boosted us. Yeah. We are planning on doing giveaways too. To where uh, we have one going on for recruitment. If you recruit 5 members, you can either get a personal vehicle or Discord Nitro gifted by the BOD. Or if you do 10 members, you get both. So we do have that going on right now. And we do plan on doing other giveaways once QB Core drops, where you may be there may be a giveaway for a couple $100,000 in game or something like that, where you could win that and now your character has more money, stuff like that. So definitely come check us out. Seriously. Um, you heard it from Tater himself. So and Jelly and all the other people. It's definitely a great place to come be a part of. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah,
Tater.
I was gonna add something, but I don't remember because you kept going on and on. Respectfully, oh God,
See,
what was
calls
it?
me out for my shit. That's why he's on the staff team.
Oh, what the hell was I gonna say?
Watch. You're gonna start speaking about something, and it's just gonna pop in your head, and you're gonna completely change the topic that you're talking about.
It's probably gonna happen.
Oh, it's
So
100% gonna happen. Even if the stream ends and you can't think of it right now, right?
I'm gonna have that
I
like
guarantee you, I'm gonna get a DM that says, "I just remembered."
I'm gonna be like laying in my bed about to go to sleep, and I'm like, oh my.
You're like
Oh,
shit.
I guarantee you, it was the most simplest thing as well.
oh yeah, it probably was.
It
You
probably
said
was.
something. Oh, I don't remember what you said.
Yeah.
You gotta do
Um,
what Jimmy Neutron does. Think, think, think. Brain blast.
uh, so I remember. So the last time we had a mandatory meeting was 5 days ago. We had a 4th of July. Obviously, we wanted people to have fun, and oddly enough, that was one of our most active patrols. So even though one of our patrols weren't even mandatory, people still showed up because they just wanted the RP, which is
I'm
something
not gonna
that
lie, that was a really big attendance
yeah, it was
for
a
a
very big
non-mandatory
attendance.
patrol. It was a very, very big attendance.
That was like the new record at that time, right? That was the record.
I think there was like 20 people, 20 people on for
I
like
def
over 6 hours.
I remember. I know for a fact there was 15.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't.
there was 15, I think.
I'm pretty
I
sure
wasn't
I saw
there,
some
but
community group that they were like, they were like, this activity is great, and I was even shocked. I was at work, and, like I was just checking my phone, I saw it, and I was like, holy cow, like that's big. So yeah,
yeah. And from my side, pretty much what we do here in the community is I pretty much like to RP with anyone. If you have an RP in mind that you want to do, or something that's not really that big, but that's passive. Passive means not doing a whole bunch of shooting.
Starting a role priority.
Yeah, not starting a priority or doing shootings all the time or something like that. Passive is to where you do something that interacts with other people.
Business, running a business, going and doing like events in game. A lot of our members like doing car shows or meet and greets because they make famous characters. I've made a famous character. I do meet and greets all the time with them, just because it's something else to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you can't get in a fist fight at a bar and at the Yellow Jack or at Tequila. Like you can still go do that. It just means like it's not something where all the whole every cop on needs to go to type deal. So
No, and I'm just starting which I'm soon finishing a document of a learn to drive.
list of ideas.
Yeah, pretty much using that thing, but I'm using a learn to drive manual and forming that into a server thing, because
As we have teenager pets in. So
yeah, so
teenager and stuff.
Yeah, so if you're a teenager, or if you're role playing as a family, and your teenager or a person has a daughter or a son, or a family member who drive.
On top.
Shush. And they have a car and they don't know how to drive yet. They can go through a little program that my character is developing called Learn to Drive Safe. My character is called Jason Emily. You guys will see him in some videos. Some people in.
We just call you Jason Emily now.
I know.
That's the point that you brought it to. Really.
I know. To the point to where people just call me Jason Emily, and I'm in this other FiveM server where I'm just only a junior administrator, but I'm not going any higher than that, because all they call me is just Jason or Emily, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, what's up? But since I've brought Jason Emily to my live, he's like me. He was like, I get called by Jelly, Sunshine Studios. I get called Storm from Billy still, because that's when that was my old name. But Jason Emily is a fairly new one that rarely ever goes around. But ever since it came to GSRP, when my character first came, things changed. People knew me as now Jason Emily instead of Jelly, or nicknames that I've been called by.
Yeah, it was funny when people knew me as Max Williams for a little bit.
Yeah. And
No, sorry to add, but I was never like that. I've been called Tatertot for a while, and then I made one simple mistake. Okay, I have to explain this a little bit.
Yeah,
So-
Tater Tit.
Yeah, so in a different server, what they did when I was only an officer, they did patrol logs. So in the patrol log, I had to type out the time, and I was like trying to get on patrol, have fun. So I'm typing, right? And obviously the O key is next to the I key, so I pressed I by accident, didn't see it, and then the guy, my supervisor at the time, takes a photo and sends it in what we put in memes, and then everybody called me Tatertot, and then it somehow got over here, and now I get called it.
Tater Tit.
Yeah.
but now
It's Tater Tot.
but now since people sometimes call me Jelly, or now there's this new name called Kelly, which if you transform your nickname to a female name, it becomes an actual name, right? But
Oh, I told the story about that.
well, I have to talk about that later. Because Matt Havit is the one who called me Kelly first, and then it somehow got
Yeah,
into
Kelly.
G's. Okay, it now has somehow no. I think it was Sanchez who called me Kelly.
No, it was Matt.
Matt, fucking Matt, that bitch. Um,
Yeah, you tell him, Kelly.
I still have him. I still have him called as freaking Madison or Maddie.
Oh yeah, I
Maddie
forgot
Long.
that his was Madison.
Yeah, Madison Long
Madison
or
Long.
Maddie.
I forgot what mine was.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
frick, what Duke?
Denise.
No,
No, it wasn't Denise.
Damn it. I tried.
not Denise. Danielle? No, it wouldn't have been that.
No, I think it was along the lines of that.
So it was somewhere in there, but yeah, apparently that's a new category, nicknames that we've been called by. Yeah, but yeah, this is an hour and 35. Dookie Pookie is you've been called that in the server before. People like to call it.
Calls me Duke Puke in the server, bro.
Yeah, everyone likes to. Yeah, everyone
I
does.
think there's been times where I called you Dookie.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I get to call you Tatertot.
Yeah, you sent that.
I did. I kind of set myself up for failure.
You are a failure.
You never knew about that one?
Oh, hang on.
Here it is. Here it is. There it is.
Emotional damage.
Yep, there it is. But yeah, this is where it's gonna end, y'all. Thank you for listening in or tuning in from where you are around the world. Please do consider subscribing. Please do consider joining the Discord. It is a place where you can calm down, hang out, fuck around in the server, do whatever. But yeah. Hell yeah. If you have any ideas or anything that you'd like to see from my point of view, I know Duke here when he comes back into his hometown, he'd stream sometimes. So I'll leave a link to his Twitch. Tater, do you?
Dude, I ended up stopping streaming for a little bit just because of how the server was going and through the stuff that we were going through at the time. But with the expansion of our community, we are definitely going to be starting streaming on my side. So definitely come check out my stream once I start streaming. Again, if you're in Jelly's Discord, you'll get the ping. And Jelly, you need to start streaming again, please.
I know. There's a reason behind that because the computer I currently have, guys, is a entry level computer. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Duke.
Start a GoFundMe. Let's start a GoFundMe for Jelly.
If you can start a Go.
Jason Emily's new computer, Acer Nitro 5.
Yeah, if. Yeah, that's.
I'm on crappy Wi-Fi right now, bro.
And you're still running fine, but
Dude, my starter was running fine.
yeah.
That's what happens when you
So
buy a good computer.
for me now, for recording, I tried to record once and my game crashed. So now looking back, I'm gonna try and get a new PC. I already have a plan set up.
Don't get a tower, get a laptop. Because because Duke has been recommending the Acer Nitro 5 to me for.
Bro, I just upgraded. You know, I just upgraded my laptop. I had the original Acer Nitro 5, Intel Core i5, GeForce GTX 1650 Ti, right? That ran better than most of my buddies in the communities who've custom built their PCs. And then I just recently upgraded my computer to another Acer Nitro 5, except it's a different layout. The screen's a little bit wider compared to the original Acer Nitro 5 because they have two models now. They have like I guess it's like a wider screen and then just kind of the standard. But my computer now has an Intel Core i7, GeForce RTX TM 4050, which I think is like the newest graphics card out there, and it is a beast. The thing that sucks is when I make vehicles, I can't put OpenIV on my second monitor because the hertz isn't the same. So my laptop itself is a 144 hertz, but my monitor is a 120. So it doesn't like OpenIV on my monitor. It likes it more on my actual laptop. So yeah, but
Yeah.
it's overall a great computer. I've been using my computer that I just got rid of and gave to my roommate to get him into gaming on PC. That thing's running 3 years strong. For 3 years straight, it's gone through deployments, it's gone through flights, it's gone through excessive moving around, and the only thing I've ever had to replace on that was a screen, and that was it. Because at the time the screen was dying out. So that's the only thing that I've ever had to replace on that computer, and it still ran perfectly fine every single day, no issues, no nothing. These laptops are really good. So I suggest if you're looking to get into gaming PCs or getting into PC gaming, definitely look at getting a gaming laptop. They're great for portable. They're very portable wise. So if you're going on a trip or you're going away for the summer and you want to still have a gaming PC, you don't have to pack up a tower, your monitor, your keyboard, your webcam, all that type of stuff. You just literally fold it, put it in a bag, call it a day. So they're definitely great. And nowadays, like when I first got my gaming laptop, people recommended not getting a gaming laptop because they were still kind of new and not really trusted. But coming from a person that serves in the Navy, um, gaming laptops are the way to go. They work exceptionally well. A lot of people within my command all have gaming laptops, and not many have towers anymore. So that's just my recommendation. Obviously, it's always going to be mixed though. Jelly, you gotta realize that everything's going to be mixed. But the Acer Nitro 5s are decently priced and they get the job done, and they are really really good.
Hmm.
I only paid at most 1,000 for my last one, and then I paid 1,100 for this one. So
Yeah.
So for
they're decently priced, and you can get them for cheaper. Like I said, you can get them for cheaper. You can get them for like 800 too. The only reason why it was it was 1,000 was because it came with a gaming mouse and a headset. But I have a HyperX headset, so I gave that stuff to my roommate.
so for me, I use a tower, and one of the new one I'm trying to get, it's worth 1400. I'm gonna have to quickly look and hold on, I might have it. I do not have it. Okay, so first, it's a custom that I'm trying to build. I know I was talking with crazy about it. This it comes with the AMD Ryzen 5 7000X 6-core processor. I'm trying to get a
I think
cooling blank.
mine's a 7, or I don't know. I forgot what
I'm
core.
trying to get a deep cool like liquid cooler, so it's easier for
Yeah.
the run. My GPU that I'm trying to get is a NVIDIA RTX 4060, 8 gigs. The power supply, I'm trying to get a 750 Gold ATX 3.0. I'm getting Windows 10 Pro on it because Windows 11 is kind of mid.
I like it. I think Windows 11's nice.
Yeah. Windows. Well,
I
cause
had Pro. I had Windows 10 Pro, and don't get me wrong, I liked Windows 10 Pro, but like Windows 11, a lot better.
yeah,
My eyes.
but
Like I
because
said, it's mixed. It's arguments. It's like Apple v Mac. It's like Mac versus PC. So
yeah, but like I had to transfer to Windows 11 because my screenshot thing wouldn't open, or it wouldn't capture any screenshots or anything. And it was pissing me off because I was like, you know what, I have to because they would always tell me, hey, your Windows is ready to update, yada yada. And when I first did it, Windows 11 was different. And well, when I first opened it up my laptop at school because the laptop I use, I disconnect everything from it and I take it to school. Hence why you guys all see me on my alt. Sometimes I'm not on my phone. I just type sometimes lowercase and I'm not on my phone. But
yeah,
I I I use this as more gaming than what it's supposed to be, and when I get into streaming, you guys will see different role plays that I will do than the role plays that you're seeing now from recorded, and you're seeing them as so laggy because when I record them, my Streamlabs is only getting so much that it it is only processing so much that it can do before I'm even done with that RP. And whenever I live stream Roblox, like, it will be perfectly okay, but I will have audio issues, and that's one thing that I'm struggling with, is because every time I'm in a FiveM server or something lags with me, I will freeze on my main display that's on my monitor right now instead of my laptop. I will hear these random noises that will freeze my screen, and for a second I will stop talking, and I could hear everyone talking else, but if I try to speak, it wouldn't capture my voice. Because that's another thing, that if I get the Acer Nitro 5, that might not change because I'm trying to get this new laptop. Because I might keep this laptop that I'm currently on right now and recording right now for this podcast. I might use it for school because it works really well. It is really good. Heck, if I'm even out camping, I'll just leave my actual gaming laptop and just take this laptop because it's also used with dispatching, which is perfectly amazing. And I like that.
Yeah.
But streaming FiveM or anything, I try to do that on Twitch. It does not work. And that happened with the old server where I would lag so much to where I couldn't even open up chat or the skybox. It is what it's called now, or on what we call it. And
Skybox.
yeah, skybox. Your but if you have a tower and stuff like that, and you only have one monitor, then it's hard to. It's gonna be hard to record or stream anything because you're just on that monitor. And if you have a display capture and what I'm using right now, you're gonna have to like always tab in and out from that one monitor, and it's always gonna show whatever it's there. To where if you're doing a game capture or whatever like that, and Duke, when you come back in the U.S., you're gonna have to show me on how I can do the intro and stuff like that when I can talk to you guys instead of having to mute myself or deaf myself on Discord, stuff like that. We can talk later about that. But yeah, like streaming wise, if you guys want to stream, highly recommend, or what I recommend is using Streamlabs OBS. It is great to use, or if you guys want to use OBS Studios, it's completely up to you. It's whatever you feel like using. And to say that I'm using or Streamlabs OBS, it's a good way to use because you can actually see your notifications. You can see what you want to put up there, your chat, versus to where your OBS Studios, you have to get these installation or these installations. You have to get these plugins. You have to get these overlays and stuff like that for this software. But if you use this other type of software, you're good. You're chilling. And most people like to use that. And, you know, that's just my recommendation.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone's kind of tired and all that stuff, and we've been trying to like end this damn stream for I don't know what, almost an hour now.
Almost an hour now. It is currently.
Duke?
Yeah, Duke. Yeah, we are currently at an hour and 48 minutes here. Again, shout out to GSRP, the board of directors, everybody here. Next podcast will be the departments. I think the next podcast will just be the department heads, and then the next podcast laters will be each and every department. So going through state, going through LSPD, going through SO, stuff like that. We'll be talking through with the sheriff, the LSPD chief, board of commissions, the state commissioner, people like them. But yes, again, thank you huge big thank you to Duke and Tatertot to or for coming, or for taking their time technically, and actually speaking to us. Again, I will drop the Discord to Golden State Roleplay with the custom invite. I will drop my Discord down below if you guys want to join it. I will also drop my Twitch, my stuff, everything there. And I will also be dropping Duke's Twitch and Discord if you guys like to hang out over there as well. His server is just also a hangout as well. Cause some
Honestly,
chaos
I
there
like
as well.
GSRP more as my hangout now.
Yeah, GSRP is more like his hangout, but hey, he also has one.
Listen, y'all find me there every time. Like even when I get home from work, I'm just always in general.
Yeah,
Whether it's deving or just kind of like playing the game, always in general.
yeah, and Tatertot, I don't know if you have Twitch or not.
I used to have Twitch. I don't stream on Twitch anymore. I'd rather get streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
Whenever I can.
Okay. Some of your
Check out
YouTube then.
Tatertot's YouTube, Jelly's both my Twitch, or just come and join us in general in GSRP.
Yeah, depends.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of which, in my server, if you go to the category of GSRP best server, and it literally is called that category, GSRP best server, because it is, you will see Jason Emily. That is his backstory area. There's also a channel called Character Suggestions. There's been one so far because I remember on doing with Joe Bro, currently a administrator, another part of the member that's part of the staff. We did, and I didn't record this, but we did a, what was it, Duke? The, I'm trying to remember now. It was the, I gotta judge it. I gotta judge it.
Oh yeah, I had the character suggestion was Johnny Depp. On the backstory was a renowned actor and entertainer starring in many movies such as Pirates of the Caribbean, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and more. Who is currently going through a divorce with Amber Heard and currently going through a defamation trial.
And
one thing on his mind is will he ever encounter Amber Heard again in the state of San Andreas? Will she ever hit him again?
What?
He lives his days trying to be there for his fans, but also keep away from his ex-wife. But also on the hunt for a jar of dirt, and constantly reminding his ex-wife, "You'll remember this day as the day you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow."
Yep, and I roleplayed as Captain Jack Sparrow, or known as Johnny Depp, and Joe roleplayed as Amber Heard.
Tatertot was literally like, "This is gonna go to hell."
And it did, and is.
What did I miss?
So this is like when.
A lot of traffic stops with him, and it literally would just be him. "Have you seen my jaw, Ted?" No. Mean. And then he finally found it, and he was literally running around Sandy Shores. "I got a jaw there. I got a jaw there."
It was freaking hilarious.
Guess what's inside it?
It's your mother. Oh, frick. And to this day, he is currently still living, not posting anything or.
I sure hope Johnny Depp is living.
He is. He is. I need to actually make that character again, damn it. But, yes, again, thank you to all, and I hope you guys have a nice night, day, afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for coming out, listening.
Studio, signing off.
And, yes, that is Sunshine Studios. I'm out. Goodbye, y'all. Fuck you.
Fucking duck. Wait.
Shit.
Wait.